Hello, this is Mr. Frazier. I'm the lead math instructor for Pinellas Virtual School, and I'm here to explain to you how to maximize your time and grade based on successful navigation of this class. So you've already watched the welcome video, and we described some things to you about this class in that video. I'm now going to show you how to execute most of those things. All right, so one of the things that we talked about is DBAs. Remember, this video is accessible anytime, so the nice thing about it is you can come back and watch it again. So DBAs are where you discuss with your teacher what you learned. So to schedule those DBAs, there's a button here. You click it, DBA, pops up, and you will then click 5th grade, and you have several different choices. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 11th, 12th, all the days of the week. So when you get to the DBA, you're going to want to use this scheduler so you can schedule your appointment. And then that's when a teacher will call you, will discuss what you learned in that module, and then give you a password for the test, and you are right on your way. So as far as completion of the work in the class, we're going to look at the notes, which are here. Remember, the new student tab still has all the stuff we talked about in the welcome video. So let's look at the notes. Click on the notes. You'll see that the notes have, this is a resource page. It has extra practice if your parents want you to practice more. It has a DBA review guide, which is a PowerPoint. You click it, it will talk about the types of questions that you should know to talk about after you're finished with the module. Okay, that doesn't mean these are the questions. It just means this is the topics that you should be prepared to talk about. Kind of helps you focus. And here are the notes. So when you click on notes, it's going to download the Word document. Okay, and you'll click it open. Most of you should know that you're using Google Chrome, and you do know how to get to your Office 365 account, which is in Clever. And you should know that you have 5 free copies of Word that you can download on different devices. If you need help with that, please either talk to the tech person at your school, or you may give me a call, 588-6448, press button 6. I can talk you through it as well. Not a big deal. All right. So you can print these out, and then as you're reading the lesson, fill them out. It keeps your work organized because you're allowed to use your notes for every quiz, test, exam, and DBA. So it's important that you're organized when you're doing this. This is a good way of keeping yourself organized. You can print them out and write on them, or you can just copy them down. Either way, it's completely up to you. It's just a resource that makes your life a little bit easier when it comes to taking the test, because it's a lot of information to remember. Many of you have never taken an exam before, so you do have a segment 1 exam over all the material from 1 through 4. And if you forget, this is a good way of looking it up again. You can only keep one browser open while you're taking your test. If you try to open other browsers or have other windows open, your test will lock you out, and then we're supposed to issue zeros for everything that you haven't answered. So having these notes printed out and on the side makes it a lot easier. You don't accidentally do something that gets you locked out of your test. All right? Okay, remember there's extra videos there, and they go modules 1, 2, 3. We have 8 modules. We should be doing 1 module every 2 weeks. Okay, and you have other information here as well. Okay, so I've already mentioned you should do that first so that you have those notes there so that when you read the lesson, you can fill them out. Well, how do I get to the lessons? Well, up here, you'll know you're in Google Chrome because you'll see all these icons. If you start seeing goofy icons, it means you're not in Google Chrome. So we're using Google Chrome. Right here's the lessons. You click on it. There's a couple ways to get to the lessons, so this is just one of them. Your lessons are here. Module 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Getting started. My suggestion is to read the getting starting pages and go through all of those because it explains certain icons you're going to see and certain issues you may have moving through the class. All right, so here we are. We read the lesson. Now you can also get it through the menu. So I'm going to go to the first lesson. 100. It says Module 1 checklist. Now, I do know kids who skip this. I would tell you, Mom, Dad, not to skip this. The nice thing about the module checklist is it tells you right here, you click on it, and it gives you approximate times for how to finish things so that you're giving yourself enough time when you start them. Like, the normal student will finish this in 50 minutes. The normal student will finish this one in 45 minutes. Okay? The pretest should take about 45 minutes. That means they don't necessarily know all the information there. Don't worry if they do good or bad, because in the end, the pretests only come out to about a half a percentage point by the time we're done with this class. All right, so this is what you should be doing and how long it should be taking you to do it so that you can schedule your time appropriately. All right, then the next thing is reading the lesson itself. So let's see. Let me go through the module checklist one. Hey, and it tells you, caution, situations that get you locked out of the pretest. So it tells you what to look at before doing the pretest. And it gives you a list of things that will get you locked out of the pretest. All right, and then it tells you where you can find the pretest. It's an auto-graded assignment. So that means I go to the assessments, and you will see it is listed right here, pretest. So I would click on it and take it. Now Mr. Fraser just says I can only do it once. I enter the exam, and I'm just going to go through this really quick and pick a bunch of goofy answers. So there were 15 questions. I went ahead, or there's 19 or 20 questions, and I've gone ahead and made my choices. And then I go down here when I'm finished, and it says check this box that you're ready to submit. So I check it, and I'm going to submit the exam. And it tells me thank you very much, and it moves on. And it gives me what my grade was, which wasn't too hot. Okay, and then we move on to the next lesson. So I read the lesson. So I'm going to go here, read the lesson. 1-1, adding and subtracting decimals. And every assessment, other than pretest, post-test, and the module exams, you get 3 opportunities to do the assignment. If you're not happy with your grade, you are able to reset it. Okay, so let's go through this as I read through the pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Get to the end, and it tells me there's the vocabulary I'm supposed to know. There's the information we learned about. Go to 1-1 and do the assessment. So I go up here to do the assessment. It's going to be in my list. Now I want you to remember this collaboration reflection you're going to be excused from. So you should see that in your grade book. But let's pick, 1-1. Wait a minute, 1-1's not here. What does that mean? That means I already did it once. And in order to see work that you've already finished, you have to go to your gradebook. That's the hamburger menu, main menu, and right here, gradebook. So I click on it, and it's going to pull up all the assignments I've done. Hey. I took the pretest. See, it's only worth 0.16. Like it's a very, very teeny tiny part of your grade. Okay, so module 1, the first part, oh, I did poorly on it. Like, let me try it again. So I'm going to click it there. And it will ask me, do you want to reset it? And I say yes. That's going to ask me, why do you want to reset it? And I would tell you, my grade was poor. So they turn around, and it's been reset. So I could try it again. Remember, you get 3 attempts on every assignment. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is an assignment that's typed up in Word. So there are assignments, and in this case, in Module 1, there's an assignment 1.07, in where you're supposed to type up your information or your answers in Word. You use the equation editor in Word to be able to type up those answers. So really quick, here's Module 1.7. We go here, and it's option 1. You're always doing option 1. There is no option 2 for this class because collaborations are not required. So you'll answer these questions on a Word document, a blank one. Make sure answering full and complete sentences, and I would tell you to try to use the vocabulary you learned to answer some of these questions, like similarity and difference questions. There were vocab words that were used to describe these things. So you want to make sure that you're using those when answering this. And when you go down, make sure that you answer every piece of the question. So on your Word document, you'd say part 1, question 1, question 2, part 2, question 1, question 2, part 3, question 1. A, show your work. B, show your work. 2, make sure you're just labeling and typing out your work. And you'll be using the equation editor on the right-hand side of the Word document. If you're still not sure how that works, you can shoot me a text. I can send you a video on how to do it, as well as we will probably email everyone a video after people are in the class. Alrighty, and then you then you save that Word document, and when you go to submit it, it looks a little different. So I like going to the gradebook so I don't miss anything. So I'm going to go to the gradebook. I'm going to find the 1.07. And as I look at 1.07, click on it. When I click on it, I'm able to load information. I loaded something there earlier, but I can add a file or drag and drop it to there. So I'm going to click add a file. And it allows me to pick from all my stuff. And I'm going to pick, let's see, I'm going to pick something else. I got a bunch of stuff here, so I'm just going to add something real quick. There we go. I put it there. And then I have to, again, submit for grading. If I don't submit for grading, it's just going to save it. But your teacher can't access it to grade it. So submit for grading. And then it will go to the teacher will grade it and send you back feedback, which you will find in your email. The email is right here where it says check email. That is your email account. That is where we send feedback. If it's a specific assignment and it was auto-graded and they didn't give you any feedback, you can reach out to your teacher and say, hey, can you give me some feedback on this assignment? We can go in there, type up some stuff, and then send it to you electronically in your email, and then you can look at it. You can always try and call your teacher too. All right, daytime calling is usually much better. Remember, you're supposed to work in order. This segment 1 collaboration reflection will be excused. So when you get to it, if you see it there, don't bother clicking on it. It should be eventually excused. Mr. Fraser will make sure all that happens. Alrighty, so now you've seen how to submit an assignment typed up and how to submit an assignment from the multiple choice. Clicking that box is really important, okay? We've talked about how to check your email, and we've talked about where to find the certain tabs. Making sure you use Google Chrome, which is really important, otherwise you're not going to see these icons, and then how to schedule a DBA. So the very last thing I'm going to talk to you about real quickly is there are times when there are things in the lessons that are auto-graded and put into the gradebook, but they show up in the assessments. That happens with a lot of these things that say review. Right here. It says, we'll look at module 2 is where the first time it happens. Whenever it says review practice test, if you were to click on that in the assessments, that's a big no-no. And it even tells you here, if you're reading this, stop, you're in the wrong place. The assessment is on page 2 of this lesson. You won't see any pictures here, and it'll be graded as a 0, which means even if you do answer these, there's no way to answer them because you don't see a picture. All right, so the idea would be that you go into the lessons, and I'll show you really quick. Module 2, 9, which was the review. It's on page 2, always on page 2. Page 1 has all the notes that they create. They're not bad notes. They're not the best. And then there's the quiz. So it's actually in the lesson. You do it here, and when you save it and finish it, it automatically puts it in your gradebook. If you try to do it on the other assessment page, you can't see any of the pictures, none of the sliders works. It's an interactive piece. So please just make sure every time you see review test, you don't click on it in the assessments, you click on it in the lessons. And it tells you several times in the class that you're going to have that. So let's just look where it is. See, at the beginning, when you're looking at the checklist, it's one of the cautions. It says it counts what to do with it. And when you get to the review page, it says the same thing. Alrighty. Well, that's about it in a nutshell. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Remember, after you finish watching the 2 videos, make sure that you go to the verification page, answer the questions, and submit that. Once you've submitted the verification information page, the form that's there, the following Monday, your child will officially be activated. But you're able to go ahead and start working in the class immediately. That's not a problem. Okay? Other than that, you can see that there are some other resources that are on this page. The one that I find the most useful is the tools one, because it allows you to download number lines or graph paper, and then you can cut and paste those things into your Word document when you've got to do that type of work. All right? Other than that, if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to your teacher or me. Either way, it works. The phone number is 588-6448. Press button 6, and it is the math department. Other than that, I appreciate your time. I wish you all the luck in the world. And remember to put forth your best effort. It's about what you're learning, not what you've already learned, okay? All right, focus on that vocab.